hearts often meet. I feel tingles down to my feet. When you smile, it's much too discreet. Sends me on my way. Anybody know what that song is? Won't you stop, take a little time out with me? Just take five, just take five, just take five, just take five, just take five. I don't know if Kevin is on here. I hope he's playing with me. Greetings, everybody. Hello, world. How are we? Hello, how are we, Antidotes? How are we doing today? Great morning, afternoon, evening. Happy journey to us all. It is raining in Los Angeles. I'm so excited. I went out driving this morning. I'm always excited for it, and I'm glad to be here for this special Thursday edition of Daily Antidote of Song every single day. The beautiful folks at Carpe Diem Arts are giving you to it. Give them elbows. Throw them bows. Throw them bows. Come on, give them elbows. Yeah. And I love saying hello to Jojo Rossi, who is somewhere in the world. Let's give her love. And our jamming on the one, jamming on the one, jamming on the one, Zoom guru, the one and only Jaden. Give it up for Jaden. The link queen. There you go. All right, let's see. Hello to all of our humans that are live streaming on all platforms. Hello, Satara, if you're out there. Let's see who is in the room with us today. We've got Susan in Seattle. Oh, we got Susan G in Cincinnati. We have Archie and Hindi today. Jim in New York City. We've got Jamie in Victoria. Moon Harrison. I love saying that name so much. Kathleen, my friend, is in Albuquerque. Luda. Thank you for the love in Victoria, BC. Hey, Kate in Charlottesville. Good to see you. Kevin is making an appearance today. Hey, everybody. I love it. Hello to you, Kevin. And then we got Kevin with the magic flute in DC. And it's Carolyn in Boise. Thank you for the correction on the date. Deborah in Kentucky. We've got Baba James Harkless here today. Hello, hello. Karen in Oregon is here. Shazzy, that's another name I like saying, in Bethesda. Nancy and the Irish Cow are here. Hoda in British Columbia is here. Hey, Linda on Orcas Island. Jean in Pittsburgh. Aloysius inside. What a world. Storm is here. Are you cosplaying? You fuzzy cosplaying today, Storm. Okay. Deli is here with us. Hello. Ann in Silver Spring. Okay, I see some orange in the room. Kathy, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Hi, Martha. Lovely seeing you today. We've got Bronwyn in Victoria, British Columbia. Dan in Vienna. Hello, hello. Hey, Jane in Texas. Good to see you. Gary is here with plenty of solutions. Bob is here. Hello to you. And then we've got Kate, Caroline in DC, Ralph in Victoria, Gaia on Maui, Cricket. There's Jenny in Suffolk, UK. The Peabodys are here. That means the Curly Tops are in the place. Annette in California is here. Linda Rose is here. And Carol J in Connecticut is here. If you are a newcomer to the Daily Antidote of Song on day 1124, put your name in the chat. Tell us where you're coming in from, how you found Daily Antidote of Song on this very special 5-4 day. Y'all get it? 5-4? Anybody know that song I was singing? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. We're honoring Dave Brubeck for that incredible song, Take 5. And I'm going to be singing it twice today, once online and then once in person. But I'm happy to do a little rehearsal with you all this morning. We're also recognizing May 4th as the Kent State Shootings Remembrance. Terry Leonino from Magpie was here, was it last week? Or maybe the week before. And she was a student at Kent State during that time. So we'll take a moment to honor those students for their sacrifice and for setting it off for a righteous cause. We got a special guest here today, one of my faves. Joe Jencks is in the house. Joe Jencks, come on to the stage. Come to the stage. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. I'm also mindful that we honor today, May 4th, the Haymarket Massacre in 1886 in Chicago, and what led to the to May 1st being recognized internationally as Workers' Memorial Day. And so I had never made the connection that the Haymarket and Kent State were on the same day, decades apart. But wow.
No coinky dinks. No coinky dinks.
How
Okay.
you doing today?
I'm good. As I
Good.
mentioned, I woke up to the rain and I love getting out in it. And so I'm happy to be back home dry. So, Joe, I understand you have 2 songs for us today. Is that
I
correct?
do have a couple of songs, yeah, but it was nice to hear that Brubeck. I was in a vocal jazz sextet when I was at conservatory, and some of the most challenging music I ever sang. And there were a few pieces that somebody had put text to Brubeck's melodies and compositions, and pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing rondo to do also. So,
Nice.
yeah, this,
Nice. Well, it's so great to see everybody here at the Daily Antidote, a song. Great to be with you again. Always a pleasure. I think I was last with you around St. Patrick's Day. And so today I'm singing a song that's called Winnipeg 1919. And beginning on May Day, on May 1st in 1919, the workers in Winnipeg went out on general strike. They were pushing back for universal women's suffrage in Canada and for better working conditions and safety conditions. They were pushing back against child labor in industrial settings. And, they had survived World War and another pandemic, and they were really ready for change. And so I was invited up there in 2019 to honor the 100th anniversary of the Winnipeg General Strike. The workers had held the city in 1919 for almost 7.5 weeks, and it rippled outward, and there were general strikes all over North America and in parts of Europe in solidarity with those workers. And it affected change in the working conditions and labor conditions across North America. It's really a consequential piece of North American labor history. But I was invited up to this festival. I promised Mitch Podolak, who was producing the festival, and he was in his last year of life at that point. I promised him a song for the festival and started writing this and then tucked it on a back shelf somewhere here. And it wasn't until I was on an Air Canada flight from O'Hare up to Winnipeg that I remembered that I had promised Mitch this song. And then I had this moment of, terror as I realized that I needed to have the song done in 24 hours. But it all came together well, and they nearly made me, an official provincial hero for having worked the word Winnipeg into a song this many times.
I love it. So you're going to teach us our part, right?
And nothing rhymes with Winnipeg, so...
I can think of a few things. Okay, you're going to teach us our part?
Absolutely. Here we go. So the chorus is, come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. Try that. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. And then it goes, we rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Let's try putting that together. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. One more time. Here we go. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. It was 1919 and all around the world people started marching with their victory flag unfurled. We've shed our blood on battlefields, enslaved in deep dark mines. We rally to the banner, bread and roses, it's our time. Come gather fellow workers and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. From Europe and to Canada, across the USA, we cry out for justice and for fair and equal pay. All sisters and brothers and all workers here unite. We strive for one big union and defend our common rights. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. From Halifax and Thunder Bay to the Fraser River shore, Seattle, San Francisco, and Chicago, hear us roar. From Boston on to Dublin town, are heard the people's cries. No more to drudge and idler when the workers organize. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Though some of us were born of means and others not a dime, we spend our lives in service to a cause we hold sublime. All laborers in commonwealth, now let our voices say that one way or another we will bring the greater day. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. So here's to Big Bill Haywood, Mother Jones, and Eugene Debs, along with Emma Goldman and Joe Hill and all the Reds, and all those fellow travelers who beckon to the call. An injury to one of us is an injury to all. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. We may not win our struggle here, but sure as hell we'll try. For the future of our children we are steadfast by and by. It's only when our minds are joined with muscle we can stand and bring to birth a new world, arm in arm and hand in hand. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. We rise up all around the world and sing our freedom song.
Wow. Go Jencks, everybody. Sir, you are in good voice today. I got to say that. I just have to.
Thank you. Thank you. I forgot to mention yesterday was Pete Seeger's birthday, which was probably a thing here, but I'll give my shout out to it as well.
Well, I was going to mention that, but before we got there, I came up with Easter egg, bootleg, powder keg, rhymes with Winnipeg.
Oh yeah. Powder keg.
It's another song.
Indeed. What was interesting is I played that at a festival in Canada last summer, and a woman came up to me who had worked for the National Library, sort of like our Library of Congress, but she'd worked for that, and she said, "You need to change the words to your song." I said, "Why?" She said, "In 1919, Thunder Bay didn't exist." I said, well, it's a little late now. I've already recorded it. And she said, well, you should re-record it. I said, well, maybe we'll see. She was very adamant. In 1919, it was Port Arthur and Fort William, and they eventually were merged, I think, in the 1950s, or maybe even early 60s. It could be that recently. But I explained to her that most people of my generation and younger would have no idea what the song was talking about if it didn't reference Thunder Bay. And so I was taking poetic license, but it wasn't trucking with the librarian. She was having none of it.
Perhaps you could offer a disclaimer before the song. How about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, indeed.
Or not. Or
For
not.
Canadian Unitarian Universalist librarians, here's
Give her a shout out when you sing the
the
song.
disclaimer. Yeah, no, that's great.
So
Um,
yesterday, Rick Polari was here, and he was sharing
oh, yay.
really special remembrances of Pete Seeger. And he told us a few things that at least I wasn't aware of, his ice skating proclivities. I know he's a very special person to you in your life and your career. Might there be something that you know about him that the general public might not know that you'd be willing to share with us?
Um, he spent a lot of time thinking about what it meant to be present in the world as a man differently than men of his generation were expected to be. And he and I talked for almost an hour one Saturday afternoon about this, sitting along the banks of the Hudson River, and what it meant to choose and, sort of be a part of inventing a different idea of masculinity that involved, both strength and vulnerability and gentleness and kindness and openness of heart and a willingness to admit when we're wrong. And, it was a really interesting conversation. I was probably around 30 at the time, and really in a place in my life where I had already for more than half my life been pushing back since I was in my teens against very, sort of stereotypical expressions of masculinity. And I had not yet heard the phrase toxic masculinity, but that's really what Pete and I were talking about. And so I'd love to hold that up, that throughout his life, he was doing his level best to advance the cause of women in our culture by figuring out how to be in the world differently as men and be better allies. And I think that's worthy of note.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love knowing that about him. Thank you for that. And extending that idea, you have a very thoughtful and heartfelt essay on the interconnectedness of creativity. Can you speak a little bit about that? What's
Oh,
going on?
yeah. Yeah, it's still up on my website for anybody that wants to go there. It's on joejencks.com, joejencks.com. And I was just talking about, creative chaos. And that a lot of people would look at my life and they would see the chaos first and miss that there is sort of continual creative process going on, whether it's in the kitchen or whether I'm a big fan of Lego, whether I'm building something with Lego or whether I'm overtly working on writing or composing or recording, that there's always a process of creativity going on, and it's always interconnected because synapses in the brain are firing in a particular way that is both orderly and totally random. And so you'll be doing one thing and it sparks an idea, and all of a sudden you go back to another activity that you had set aside because you just couldn't seem to make progress with it. And all of a sudden you have fresh attention for it, and you see the pathway through the thickets to the other side of whatever it is you're trying to create or the problem you're trying to solve. And I have a to-do list right now that's about 47 pages long. And, there are things on there, and people check in with me via email. May even be a few in this room that are like, "Hey, did you, sorry to be a nudge, but could you send me those lyrics?" I'm like, "Yep, it's still on the list. It just got pushed down a few pages, no problem." And I suddenly had this epiphany, and I thought, well, rather than seeing this as a failure of my productivity, I need to see it as a success of my imagination, that I'm always considering possibilities and then winnowing possibilities down to probabilities and winnowing probabilities down to actuality. And, but I think it's okay to dream. It's okay to have a to-do list that's 47 pages long, because having thought of it and committed it to writing it's just one step closer to actually pursuing a thing.
Wow, absolutely, absolutely. I love the idea of culinary jazz.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I did me some good jazz last night. I did some oven, like kind of oven fries, but wedges, like JoJo's, like you get in a deli case.
Okay,
But I did those, and I made up some curry sauce, like Irish British style curry sauce.
okay.
You take the cubes and dissolve them in the water. It's like curry bouillon kind of, but you end up with a thicker sauce. And I was dipping potatoes in curry sauce and just chowing down. It was fantastic. So yeah, no, cooking for me, unless I'm doing something that really requires precise measurements, cooking for me is absolutely an improvisational art form.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
I'm thinking of a breakfast. Maybe one day I'll have you look in my refrigerator, and you can give me some ideas of how to throw what's together. And
Oh, I'd love to do that. There used to be a show on NPR called The
yes,
Splendid Table.
yes, I remember her.
Lynn Rosetta Casper would do
Yes.
this thing where she'd have somebody call in with a bunch of ingredients, and she'd
Yep.
have a guest chef, and they would, haggle out what to do. And one of my favorite ways to cook carrots came from listening to that, because the chef said, okay, take the carrots, saute them in butter, and then add a little port wine, and then reduce it so you have this kind of glaze that's butter and port wine and carrot. She's like, but I always put dill with my carrots. He said, nope, not this time. Just carrots and butter and port wine. Keep it simple. And, when you reduce that into that little glaze with the butter and the port, it's phenomenal. It's my favorite way to make carrots.
I remember that. Okay. All right. I've got pimentos and olives, so we'll figure it out. Okay.
Nice. Well, I had one other song I wanted to share today, if there's
Let's go for
time.
it. Let's go for it.
And this is one some of you will know. But speaking of labor heroes, I thought I would sing about a U.S. labor hero that's known really around the world, in part because of this song, John Henry. When John Henry was a little baby, sitting on his papa's knee, picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel, said that hammer's gonna be the death of me, Lord, Lord, the hammer's gonna be the death of me. The captain said to John Henry, gonna bring that steam drill around. Gonna bring that steam drill out on the job. Gonna whop that steel on down, Lord, Lord. Gonna whop that steel on down. John Henry said to the captain, a man ain't nothing but a man. But before I let that steam drill beat me down, gonna die with a hammer in my hand, Lord, Lord. Gonna die with a hammer in my hand. John Henry said to his shaker, shaker, why don't you sing? For I'm throwing 30 pounds from my hips on down, just to listen to that cold steel ring, Lord, Lord, to listen to that cold steel ring. John Henry said to his shaker, shaker, why don't you pray? For if I miss that little piece of steel, tomorrow'll be your burying day, Lord, Lord. Tomorrow'll be your burying day. The man who invented the steam drill thought he was mighty fine. But John Henry, he made 15 feet, and the steam drill only made 9. Lord, Lord, the steam drill only made 9. John Henry hammered in the mountain. His hammer was striking fire. But he worked so hard, he broke his poor heart, and he laid down his hammer and he died, Lord, Lord. He laid down his hammer and he died. They took John Henry to the graveyard, buried him in the sand. But every locomotive comes running by, says, well, here lies a steel driving man, Lord, Lord, here lies a steel driving man. And every Monday morning, when the bluebirds begin to sing, you can hear John Henry for a mile or more. You can hear John Henry's hammer ring, Lord, Lord. You can hear John Henry's hammer ring.
Oh, yes, yes. Susan G, thank you. I see that. Holding up John Henry. Joe, those are some different lyrics. A couple.
Yeah, I bad musician. I was supposed to type up the lyrics that I sing and get them in the chat, and I went to my website where I thought they were typed up and they weren't. My website is where I go for information about my own life, so I'm lost when it's out of date. But
On the list, Joe. Be easy. It's on the list. Okay.
yeah, it's on the list.
I know it's on the list. But I love that. Were those your lyrics?
There, if you look through folk music anthologies, you can find 28, 30 different verses to this song. And I sifted through as many as I could find and pieced together the story that I specifically wanted to tell about John Henry and about him being a boy and, looking at all this about human beings and their sense of dignity in the work that they do. And when a machine replaces them, that loss of dignity and that loss of sense of self or purpose, and the stories about people in the early advance of the Industrial Revolution pushing back against the machines. And then, honoring the fact that John Henry won, but he also died. And, that he's seen as a hero. And as somebody who actually lived, I mean, there are elements of John Henry's life and story that are now folklore and mythology and unknowable and untraceable, but John Henry really lived, and there are certain elements of the story that are referenced, cross-referenced in other places. And so, yeah, I sifted through, and then I'm sure I, as a songwriter, wrote a few lines to just connect the dots in the ways that they made sense to me. But I always felt that song not as a stoic instrumental piece or the way it's sometimes played, but I just felt it free form in the spirit of just this, bold, audacious man that stood up for the workers. And so that's kind of how I sing it. I just imagine his, his spirit, his joie de vivre, his commitment to his fellow workers, and try and embody that just a little bit in that great American labor hero, John Henry.
Wow, wow. Well, you might have to write some new songs dealing with AI. I know you're Jeffrey Hinton, godfather of
Yeah.
AI, saying, it's out of his hands. What are your thoughts on that? I'm curious.
Well, for those of us who grew up with Terminator, I mean, I all I can think of is Skynet, and it freaks me out. I mean, I don't know where the line in the sand is between heavy automation and actual artificial intelligence. And once you have achieved artificial intelligence, at what point does that intelligence become sentient? So I mean, Star Trek has been exploring this for years, but you go back and look at Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov and
I
plenty of
remember
other
Hal.
writers.
I'm
Yeah,
still scared of Hal. Hal 9000.
yeah. Yeah, so it makes me anxious, and I'm glad that the scientific community, there was an open letter that a couple hundred scientists put out, and there's now, I think, over 30,000 signatures of people in the scientific fields and computing fields that have signed on to this, asking unilaterally for a halt in the advance of AI research until there can be a clear understanding of the implications of that, much in the way that the scientists that were all working separately and independently on nuclear physics back in the day really didn't understand what would be done with their research or how it could be used. And I get anxious because I know people who have been denied applications for housing when they apply because there's some AI, process that just evaluates data points and suggests that for whatever reason that they're too risky. And when you recognize that there are gender and racial presumptions and stereotypes that are built into the data from which the AI is making decisions, that makes me really nervous. I'm not yet worried that, a network of satellites with lasers are going to start, attacking human beings, but I am concerned that people in this world are not going to get a fair shake around housing or health insurance or other reasonable things that they need access to because an AI has made a decision based on faulty data, based on data that has bias baked into it. And so that's my more immediate concern as somebody who is deeply aware of social injustice in the world and in this country. I want to make sure that the people that are advancing this technology are finding ways to make sure that it is objective. And I don't know how to do that. If you ask somebody, is a song good? Different people will give you a different answer. I mean, I hear certain kinds of songs and I go, oh man, reach farther. Like that's just such a tired trope of a lyric, But if you ask AI to write a song for you, it'll write a song for you based on available data points, and it will churn out something that sounds really a lot like something you might hear on the radio, but is to me as an artist underwhelming. So if we as human beings with deep levels of discernment can't agree on what is or isn't the right solution, how do we expect artificial intelligence to answer questions of ethics and morals? And so anyway, sorry, you didn't mean to tap that button, but
Yes,
I have a lot of thoughts about this right now, and I think
I do too.
it's deeply connected to workers' rights
Yes.
and to civil rights and
Yes.
human rights.
Yes.
And thanks for asking the question. You happen to just hit me on a day when I have a lot of thoughts about this.
It's growing up on the top of the list. We need a song. We need a song, Joe. We need a song.
Yeah, well, but to sort of close out, maybe we should go back to Winnipeg and just remember the spirit of those workers.
Let's do that.
I don't want to cut you off. Was there anything else that you wanted to say, Arnie?
Well, I was curious if you had something handy that we could see of your Lego collection.
Oh God, I don't. I used to. There was a little Lego spaceship that's been living in the studio for like almost 3 years.
Next
and
time.
I finally brought it upstairs, and I think, I see no Lego here, but normally I do have a little Lego spaceship from the late '70s that lives down here.
Okay.
So
Next time, let's go to the song.
next time. So we'll just sing the chorus a few times. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our, victory song. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. Come gather, fellow workers, and raise your voices strong. We rise today in Winnipeg to sing our victory song. We rise up all around the world and sing our freedom song.
Thank you, Joe Jencks. Thank you,
Arne. Thank you, Jaden, doing a great job on the tech for us here. So appreciate it. And thanks to everybody with the Daily Antidote song, Joe Rossi, and all the people behind the scenes, and everybody who keeps showing up to sing and remind us that we are not alone, and whatever problems arise for us, we will find a way to face them together as peers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just going to put a shout out to Luda. She has won the Daily Antidote song. With her comment, "May the 4th be with you." She won.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Oh, Joe, you've got some shows coming up, right?
I'm doing the Greenwich Village Online Folk Festival on Sunday night. So no matter where you are, you can sign up for that and listen in. It's a free online folk festival. They invite donations, but it's totally free. Robin and Linda Williams, Kate Taylor will also be involved in this one on Sunday night. I'm always happy when my name appears in a sentence next to theirs. And then I'm part of a Phil Oakes song night online that's being hosted by the International Leadership Institute. Grassroots leadership organization is tied in with this, and an essay that I wrote about the intersection of music and activism is going to be published in a book through that institute later this year, along with an article by Holly Near and several other folks.
Nice.
So doing a Phil Oakes thing, it pretty light on in-person performances this month. I'll wrap up the month down at the Kerrville Festival in Kerrville, Texas, and then June and July and August I've got all kinds of shows, and into the fall, and you can check all that out on my website. And thanks again to the Daily Antidote, a song, for keeping the music going for 1,124 days and counting. What an accomplishment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody, Joe Jencks. Joe Jencks. And I stand corrected. It was Storm with Luda for the assist. Storm coming through with May the 4th be with us all today. Let's see. Announcements. Tomorrow is Bandcamp Day, so be prepared for that. Daily Antidote of Song has a wonderful Bandcamp compilation. Who doesn't have it? Who doesn't have it? Okay, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on it. I'm personally going to get some for whoever wants it. So we'll check in with Joe, because everybody needs to have it. Everybody needs to have it. Okay. I got to get to work. Let's thank Joe Jencks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Let's thank the wonderful Jaden.
Thank you, Jaden.
You think it, she links it. Oh, Joe, we need a song about that.
Right on.
Okay. And we also, of course, want to thank Jojo Rossi. I think she's here. So let's give her much love on this 5-4 day. Think about Dave Brubeck. And I've got a jazz show coming up at the end of the month that it will be live streamed. So we'll talk about that at another point. Okay, I'm off to say goodbye to Susan in Seattle. Thanks for being here. Susan, gee, thank you so much. Thank you for bringing John Henry to life in the room. Wow, I love that. I love it. Jim in New York City. I just love singing your name. Thank you for being here. Hey, Jamie and Victoria. Appreciate you so much. Moon Harrison. Yes, I'm talking about you. Kathleen, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Luda, great assist today. Victoria, BC. Love the love. Thank you so much. Kate in Charlottesville. Thank you for being here. I always love seeing the heart right behind your ear. Kevin! Yay! Kevin is here, everybody. Give this man a standing ovation. I love it. Kevin, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here with us. And Kevin in DC with the Magic Flute is here. We gave you a lot of work today. Carolyn in Boise. Yes, thank you for being here. Deborah in Kentucky, we appreciate you. Baba James Harkless. Thank you, sir, as always. Karen in Oregon, Ogegon. She's in Ogegon today. Good to see you. Shazzy in Bethesda, thank you for being here. Linda on Orcas Island, we appreciate you. Hey, Deli. Nice to see you. Ann in Silver Spring, thank you for being here with us today. Kathy, I see a little orange is kind of stuck over on the side, but I still see it. Yes. Thank you so much. Martha, great having you here. Dan in Vienna, good to see you as always. Hey, Bob, nice to see you. Oh, he's holding up something. The IWW songs. Okay, put in the chat what that is. Put in the chat. And Storm is here for the win. Cosplaying with the Fuzzy Wuzzy. Thank you. May the 4th always be with you, my friend Storm. Thank you so much for that quip. Leah in Illinois. Love seeing your smile. Thank you so much. Hey, Hoda! Beautiful Hoda in British Columbia. Thank you for being here. Aloysius is now out in the world, spreading love and joy. Appreciate you, sir. Jean in Pittsburgh. Thank you for being here. It's Archie or Hindi or Archie and Hindi. Okay. Thank you for being here. Oh, my stars. We got a thing with 2 heads. And they're both curly tops. I love it. Wrapped in orange. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Jane in Texas, thank you for being here. Caroline in DC. Hey, there's a Lit Fest that's going on in Pasadena this weekend that I'll be speaking at. Well, I'm singing at it, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Gary Pausner, thank you for being here. Ralph and Victoria, appreciate you. Gaia on Maui, thank you for being here. Cricket, appreciate you. Carol J in Connecticut. Let's see. Jane in Maryland. LMG Amos. And is that JoJo? Is that JoJo? The JoJo Rossi? Thank you for all of this. All right, I have to get to work. The sun has come out. Look what y'all did. The sun has come out. It's a great thing. Jaden, you got this?
I got this. Thank you so much, Arne. Have a great day.
You too.
And everybody help me do one last really big goodbye to the live stream. Bye.